Aquarius, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early September 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Aquarius collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the lovely Aquarius collective here in early September? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Aquarius in early September. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this card out nice and quick. We're going to hope to continue the nice vibes I was seeing for you last week. Let's see. Thank you. Okay. Believe. All right. Now, this is a very layered card to start off here in the front. So whether it's like your beliefs being tested or something that you're trying to have hope in, it could be a lot of different things. And I would say out of all the ones in this deck, this one does seem to be the most complex, especially the energy it presents itself. So for some of you, you might just be dealing with some complex situations. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the September subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about it. So again, as you can see, we have Alice here. She's kind of dressed up like Elsa the Ice Queen. So she does have those Queen of Swords type of vibes happening, and I do love to read this on an intuitive basis. But when we see something here like believe, maybe there's certain things you're dealing with, and it's necessary for you to try to stay hopeful or optimistic about it, right? Aquarius has the star card for a reason. That is a card of hope in a brighter day. And for especially people with Aquarius placements, having that base sense of a light at the end of the tunnel or something to strive for is always super important. So that's one thing we could see with this. But just the energy that's presenting to me with the complexity, I feel like even with what I already said, it doesn't do it any justice. I feel like there's a lot of layers. There's a lot of layers. Like you wouldn't even believe how many layers are here. So for a lot of Aquariuses, there could just be a lot of situations with a lot of moving parts, a lot of complexity, where, from the outside it might look simple, but when you're in the situation, it's like, okay, well, there's a lot more here than you would think. So I would say situations like that might try your patience. So we're just going to put it down for now. We'll let her chill out. She could keep being Elsa. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright, and we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for Aquarius. What's happening? Please. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. As I already mentioned, it was pretty positive for the most part. The reading was titled The Massive Payoff. So for a lot of you, something you may be working towards or striving for pays off in the end, or some sort of effort, some sort of process where it's like, okay, that's what I wanted. That's what I was working towards. So I love payoff energy because it's great big picture. So we're going to hope to continue that good energy vibe. But as you know, energy is very fluid. It's never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else's. All right, let's get it going. 3 cards for Aquarius. What do we have in early September? My good friends. Thank you. Okay, the Fool, fresh, new. It could be a little spontaneous. Okay. It's making me feel some things, but let's get more cards before I start putting words to those feelings. Yikes. Okay. Caution. Big caution, my friends. Already. Off the jump. Fool into the 10 of Swords. Let's get one more. It's making me feel things. I'm feeling all the things. Let's get one more. Okay. So 3 of Swords here. It might be one of those readings, Aquarius, and that's okay, right? The reason the tarot is so dynamic is that it covers the human experience, right? And these cards here on the back end, although they look scary, they're part of the human experience. These are energies that we all deal with from time to time, and that's okay. And they are on a scale, so I don't want anyone getting nervous about all this action back here. We're going to work through it and be pragmatic about it, right? But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, and we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But yeah, first glance, I always like to look at the elements first. And I would say, at least elementally, this is a vibe you can work with, right? Because we have a lot of air, and although Aquarius is the water bearer, you're an air sign. So air is the realm of logic, the mind, intellect, plan-based type of energy, communication. And so this energy, believe it or not, you can work through it, you can work with it, you're at home there. And then we have fire with the Fool card. That's another complementary energy for Aquarius. Aquarius gets along good with fire signs usually. So it's the combination, because the Fool is about action, movement, and sometimes the Fool can literally be foolhardy. So we have like the fire, the air, that could be very combustible. There could be the explosive energy. There could be a lot of pitfalls that we want to watch out for in this time, because for some of you, these could just be little warnings that we're looking at. Doesn't have to be something that's definitely going to happen. And always remember, you're a creator. You're a manifester. You create your experience. So you could, it's all about where your awareness is. Like, you don't have to step into any of this energy. You could just flip it on its head and say, you know what, Ten of Swords, not me. But let's go through this piece by piece and really start to build it out. Position number one, we start with what seems to be the bright spot of the reading. We have the Fool card. That connects to Aries. So maybe you're connected to an Aries. And what is Aries? It's the first zodiac sign. This is the first zodiac, I mean, not the zodiac card and tarot card with the Fool. So it's about initiating something. It's usually fresh. It's usually new. There's a lot of light-hearted, jovial type of energy here. So I generally love the Fool. It talks about new journeys. It's fresh and it's feeling great. But there is a downside to the Fool. Since it is fire, it can be very impulsive. Always notice the Fool is about to walk off that damn cliff, right? And it's that dog that's holding him back, like, no, no, don't do it, don't do it. So when we go from a Fool card, that can be very spontaneous and act before it thinks. And now we also have cards like the Ten of Swords, Three of Swords coming up next to it. I think you're already seeing the caution that we're looking at, especially if in this time you're having urges or it's just acting before thinking. So we're going to get into it deeper as we move along. The Fool might be good. We might be looking at a chapter or a story that's already been written for some of you, because the Fool is the ultimate beginning. Then we have the ultimate ending in the center, right? We have the Ten of Swords right next to the Fool card. So just with these two cards alone, that represents a whole story, right? There's a lot that happens between the Fool and the Ten of Swords. But again, I'm trying my best not to get too intuitive yet. It is one of the more challenging cards in the whole entire deck, right? It can represent pain, it can represent endings, it can represent betrayal, it can represent loss, it can represent illness. So when we see it, I always like to impress upon you that it's on a scale. For some of you, this could be something you've been dealing with for a while. For some of you, this could just be something that um, it's not major, but it's annoying, right? There could be things that you're a little gloomy about. There could be Ten of Swords moments that you're still processing. So it's something to watch out for. The thing that concerns me is the fact that it's right next to the Fool. Like the fire air combo, the Fool, very spontaneous. Now the Ten of Swords. There could be some warnings here in this time. Now, moving to the back end, and I will say this, the good thing about the Ten of Swords, if we're not looking at a story that's already been written, the Ten of Swords, it's spirit saying, all right, there's nowhere to go but up. So there is a bright side. So for some of you, there's a situation where it's like, okay, well, that has done what it's going to do. There's nowhere to go but up or improvement. Now, moving to the back end, we have a bit of a similar energy. We have the Three of Swords, right? This is like I don't want to say the knockoff version of the 10, but they have a lot of similarities, right? It's a badass piece of imagery. I'm sure you've seen it everywhere, right? It's on shirts and keychains. It's iconic. But just like this, it's on a scale, right? It's on a spectrum. Three of Swords could just be a little anxiety, could be a little bit of nervousness. It could be someone that's on edge. It could be a little gloominess. Maybe you're gonna have a couple days where you're a little gloomy. One day might be a little worse than the other. But it can also be a broken heart. It can also be something that tends to linger. For some of you, maybe you're thinking back on these past cycles and there's still some sort of emotional effect, or someone else has. So you see that the Three of Swords is less intense as the 10. So for some of you, maybe you're still going through some sort of healing, right? Like you've been through this, the good time, the rough time, but there's still some lingering energy. Or again, this could just be a warning we're looking at here, my friends, like all over the place. So I want to dive deeper on all this, Aquarius. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. All right. Let's get a good shuffle here for you, my friends. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. What's going on that Fool card? Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Aquarius, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. All right, what's going on with the Fool? What's going on here? Okay. Seems good. I'm going to hold my optimism here for the time being, because when I see the Hierophant, that's stable, it's a regular schedule, it's day-to-day life. And to me, it seems good. Now, for some of you, this could really be Spirit telling you to hold your horses with something, where it's like Aquarius, you might want to wait a minute, because this is the total opposite to this. Now, the Hierophant is Taurus energy. And again, it can represent structures and corporations and people in a place of authority, but it's grounded. It's not doing anything. It's sturdy. It's stable. So when I see it underneath the Fool, it's kind of weighing it down, where either this is something that seems great, like day to day, it's like, yeah, the Fool, Hierophant, no, it looks good. Nothing out of line here. Nothing out of order. Or this is Spirit saying, like, not yet. The time will come, but that time is not quite yet. So especially if you're having some urges or those spontaneous feelings and those passions are flaring up, Spirit could be like, Aquarius, patience, relax, don't do it, or don't do it yet. That's kind of the vibe I'm picking up here, especially with this Taurus energy, because it takes its time. You know, the Fool with the Aries energy, and I'm not talking smack about Aries because I am one. The Aries energy is like, go, 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 let's make it happen. This card is like, no, 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 we're not going nowhere. So there's like this odd little play of energy that's going on. Um, Hierophant can also represent anything long term, so this could be something that is great for a good long time. We just have to see. To me, it feels more restrictive, like Spirit saying, like, take your time with something or hold off for now. Let's keep moving. Let's see what the Ten of Swords is, because this is where the warnings might really come into play. So why is the Ten of Swords here for Aquarius, please? I haven't had a reading like this for you in a very long time, my friends. I haven't had a reading for this like you in a very, very long time. Okay. King of Swords in reverse. Now, again, it doesn't have to be you. It could be somebody else. But when I see the King of Swords in reverse underneath the Ten of Swords, it's like, damn, I regret that. Damn, I wish I would have thought that through. I wish I would have took the advice that I received. So again, I'm not saying it's you. It could be someone else. Or you're like, hey, maybe you don't want to do that. But the King of Swords is one of your power cards as an air sign. It could be another air sign. And what is he? He's usually pragmatic, logical, plan-based, slow, one step after another after another. So when I see him in reverse underneath this Ten of Swords, it's like, damn, I regret doing that. So I feel like this is most definitely a very serious warning about potentially making mistakes. It's like an explosive warning too, where there could be someone that regrets the actions that they took or will. Like it feels inevitable to me. Like just the way the story's been playing since the beginning, where it's like we have the solid, stable energy. No, 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 don't rush. Take your time. And then boom, Ten of Swords, King of Swords in reverse. Like shit, I should have thought that through. Pardon my language. Let's keep moving. A lot of you long-time viewers, you know I don't like to curse too much. I'm potty mouth, but that's just how it feels. So again, watch out for mistakes, or someone that feels like they made one, and it's a serious warning this week. So let's see what's up with the Three of Swords. Why is the Three of Swords here, please? Thank you. Okay. All right, so it's something that could most definitely improve with time. So we do have the Four of Swords in reverse. Sometimes the best action is no action, and I don't feel like that it has to be like that permanently. So similar to what we have here in the front, there's an energy that's saying don't rush. Like don't rush the process, don't rush something along. And then back here, the Three of Swords with the Four of Swords is like, all right, well, maybe you want to do something. Maybe you don't want to take a little rest, take a little break, or take something slow. Maybe both of them aren't ideal, right? Like you want to rush into something, worst case scenario, you take your time, still not the best outcome, but I think it's the better one. So I feel like here on the back end, it's more of an advice. When I see the Three of Swords with the Four of Swords, that could be very healing. That could be Spirit saying, like, all right, well, regardless of what's going on up here, the energy will do its natural thing and it will cycle out and it will work how it needs to work. But when I see the Three of Swords with the Four of Swords, it's like maybe the best option is no action for now. Not always. So the energy I'm picking up here is like not never, but not right now, if that makes sense. So there is something where Spirit's like, just take a step back. That's how it feels to me. Um, Very specific. So again, remember all these challenges and warnings, it's all about your awareness and your situations, my friends. You could always manifest your way out of all this if you'd like. But for another portion of you, if this is something that's already happened, Spirit's asking you to just take a breather. Take a little breather for a minute. Nothing wrong with a little rest and relaxation. Um, let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow card. So definitely unique compared to the readings I usually get for you. But position number one, we have the Fool card with the Hierophant. Now, I did say this is something that could have been very good for a long time. This could be an energy that looks cool, looks like nothing's out of order. But the big thing it was making me feel was Spirit telling you, like, don't rush something. Don't jump into a conclusion. Don't let your passions rule. Just take your time. Like there's something that Spirit doesn't want you to rush into. Um, Moving to the middle is where we see why, right? Because we have the Ten of Swords with the King of Swords, one of your power cards in reverse. So whether this is someone that's feeling some big regret, wishing that they took some advice, again, it doesn't have to be you. It could be someone else that's regretting their actions. Maybe I should have thought this through. Maybe I should have planned better. So there is this like energy of a mistake or feeling like someone has messed up that I'm seeing here, where someone's regretting something big time. Moving to there are serious warnings this week of Spirit saying just like slow, Aquarius, slow and steady. Onto the back end, we have the Three of Swords, Four of Swords in the upright. Sometimes the best action is no action, and certain things that you're dealing with right now, maybe the best move is to just let it naturally run whatever course it's running, or let it do whatever it's going to do, even if it's not ideal, even if you're not quite happy about it. That's just how it feels to me. And also, it does speak to how the energy will cycle its way out. So, a bit of a heavy one. It's all good. Remember, you can watch your other alignments, or you can switch your awareness and say, yeah, Ten of Swords, Three of Swords, not me, Kyle, which is totally fine. But take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. All right, let's get a good shuffle here for you, my friends. And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. And yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Let's get this going here. What do we got for Aquarius, please? In shadows. Oh, okay. I'll take it. The Magician. So interesting that I mentioned manifesting a couple of times. We have the beautiful Magician showing up in the shadows. Now, the good aspect of this Magician, he represents ritual. He could represent spirituality and manifesting and leaning into spiritual workings and stuff like that. Beautiful. But there is a challenge that comes in with this Magician, and that's anything regarding control. So for some of you, maybe there are certain situations where it's like, all right, well, there's nothing I can really control about it now. What's done is done. That would be the shadow side of this Magician. Or this could be someone that is trying to control everything with an iron fist, which I know Aquarius energy doesn't really vibe well with that, right? If you have someone that's trying to force something or trying to force you to do something, that's not going to work out too good. So watch out for any overbearing, control-based types of individuals in this time when we see this type of energy. And I also feel for a lot of you, leaning into anything spiritual or ritualistic is highly favored for you in this time. So we're just going to put it down right there, my beautiful friends. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the September subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, you could book a personal reading with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The September calendar is already live, so we could have ourselves a little chat. But for the September subscriber surprise, giving away 3 copies of one of my favorite decks ever, the Everyday Witches Tarot. It's great for beginners and experienced readers. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's two simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the zodiac signs, which ones do you get along best with? You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As usual, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.